Good morning, children. I am Asha Simon, New Catholic Mission School, Jhapa, welcoming you. Children, as we have seen last chapter, first chapter, that the domain of the environment, that there was a three types of domains of the environment, that is a hydrosphere, atmosphere and lithosphere. Now today we are going to study about the air, that is a lithosphere. Our earth is surrounded by the huge blanket air is called atmosphere. Children, what is the atmosphere? Atmosphere is something that is a huge blanket of the air called the atmosphere. All living beings on the earth depend on the atmosphere. We all of us, children, we all of us depend on the atmosphere for the survival of our life. It provides us the air we breathe and protects us from the harmful effect of the sun rays. And children, the air which we breathe, that we get from the atmosphere, and it also protects us from the harmful rays of the sun. And that is a without this blanket of the protection, we would have been baked like the heat of the sun during the day. If there was a not blanket of the blanket provide the blanket, that then we would have been baked like a samosa baked like a samosa. But and same time, children, there is a, if there is a during the day and frozen during the night as a cold. Now these things are, now we'll see the composition of the atmosphere. The atmosphere is a how many type of atmosphere. Now you can see the atmosphere. The nitrogen is 78%, 78%, and oxygen is a 21%. This is a oxygen. These all are gathered and it makes the atmosphere. The atmosphere, nitrogen and oxygen, these are the two main gases. Okay, which are the two main gases? The nitrogen and oxygen, these are the two main oxygen in the atmosphere. And the carbon dioxide also it is there, but it is not that much amount. So now nitrogen is the most, and the nitrogen is the most plentiful gas in the air, nitrogen. Now you can see the more percentage is which one? Not oxygen, but the nitrogen is the 78% in the air. And when we inhale, we take some amount of nitrogen inside of the lungs and exhale it. It become a plant. Plants needs the nitrogen for their survival, and plant need the nitrogen for their survival, and we need the oxygen. The oxygen who gives, the plant gives the us oxygen and release us from the nitrogen, and the nitrogen who takes, the plant takes the nitrogen and they release the oxygen to us. So now the oxygen is the second most plant. Now oxygen, how much percentage is there? 21%. So this 21% is the in the oxygen, and the nitrogen how much? 78%. How much? 78% of nitrogen, and oxygen is 71%. This is the second most plentiful gas in the air. Human and animal takes this air, है ना? Only for the human and animal take the oxygen from this from the plant, and green plants produce oxygen during the photosynthesis. During the photosynthesis, the green plant release the oxygen, and this oxygen contain the air remains, and these are the which we the human being take the oxygen from the plant. Now carbon dioxide is another important gases. Okay, the first one is the nitrogen, second is oxygen, and third one is a carbon dioxide is another important gas. Green plant use the carbon dioxide to make the food. Who use the carbon dioxide? Green plants use the carbon dioxide to make their food and release oxygen for the human being, and they release the oxygen. Who release the oxygen? The plant release the oxygen for the human beings and for the animals, and human beings and animal release the carbon dioxide for whom? For the plant. So now we will see the structure of the atmosphere. Now how many structures is there in the atmosphere? This structure is divided into 5 parts, that is the 5 layers of the earth: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and the exosphere. The troposphere, this is the down, okay, this is a down troposphere near the Mount Everest, and this is a about how much? This is a about how much? 13 kilometer the air breathe exist here, almost weather phenomena, okay. This is a only 13 kilometer. The troposphere how much kilometer highest? The 13 kilometer higher at the earth we breathe, and the stratosphere is the lies above the troposphere, lies about the stratosphere, and this is about the height of the 50 kilometer, layers almost free from the cloud associated with the phenomena. This stratosphere, in this stratosphere the plane fly in the sky because the fly in the almost free from the clouds. This stratosphere is almost free from the clouds, and there only the aeroplane can fly. Then we can see the aeroplane flying in the sky because of that phenomena. Now atmosphere is this the third layer of the earth. This layer is the third layer of the earth. It is about the stratosphere, about the stratosphere. From here it is a stratosphere, and then it is about how much? It is a how much kilometer? This is about 80 kilometer. This is about 80 kilo. This is how much? 50. This is a 13, and this is a 80 kilometer above. Okay, and now you will see the thermosphere, that is above the top. Okay, here, and this is about 80 kilometer. Sorry, it is about, this is about the repeatedly grows, okay, and increase the height. Ionosphere is a part of the layer, okay, and this on the top there is a exosphere, and that is on the top, and that is about how many kilometer? 80 to 400 kilometer. This layer helps to reduce the transpiration. Okay, now we will see the weather and climate. Now what is the weather and climate? The weather is something that changes hour to hour and day to day. Okay, this weather is something that is changing hour to hour and day to day, and a hot humid weather is make one irritable. Okay, it is make irritable, and a pleasant breeze weather makes us cheerful, even makes us to plan for something to go out for the outing when the weather is breezy and cool. So this then we will see the temperature of the earth. Okay, temperature of the earth. The temperature, now you can see the weather. There are 4 types of instruments are there to measure the weather. Okay, the thermometer is a measure the temperature. Okay, the biometer is the measure the atmospheric pressure, and a rain gauge measure for the amount of rainfall on the earth, and a wind vane shows the direction of the wind. Okay, there are how many types of instruments are there to measure the weather? There are 4 types. Which are the 4 types? That is a thermometer and a barometer, rain gauge and wind vane. Okay, and now there is a temperature. The temperature we feel the temperature of the atmosphere change the hot between the day and night, but also for the season to season, and summer are hotter than the winter. Okay, that is the an important factor that influence the distribution of the temperature. The temperature also decreases in the summer, same manner. Okay, this is also same manner decreases the temperature, and temperature is the measuring the temperature is a degree Celsius. Okay, there are weather measuring instruments are there. Then also there is a temperature of the standard unit of the measuring of the temperature. Okay, now there is a air pressure. Air pressure is a something that is a this because presses as from the direction from a body exists continuous pressure. Okay, air is defined as the pressure exerted by the weight of the air on the earth's surface. That is the weight of the air of the earth on the surface. As we go on high, the layers of the atmosphere, the pressure falls repeatedly up. The air pressure is the highest at the sea level and decreases with the height. Okay, it is repeatedly decreases on the height, and the pressure height level at the sea level. And this is a what we see in area having a low temperature. The air is cold. Low temperature is air is a low temperature. It is therefore heavy sinks and creates the high pressure area. Okay, the air will also move from high pressure to area to low pressure. The air always move from high pressure to low pressure always. Now we see the wind. The wind, the movement of the air from the pressure area of the low pressure area is called wind. The movement of the area from the high pressure to low pressure is called the wind. What is called wind? The movement of the air from high pressure to low pressure is called the wind. The wind, sometimes it is a so strong wind and sometimes it is a very gentle. When it is a gentle, we feel so pleasant, but when it is a too strong wind, we feel something uncomfortable on the surface of the earth. So there are wind also can be divided into three types of the winds. That is a permanent wind, and the seasonal winds, and local winds. Now there are three types of winds, that is a permanent winds, seasonal winds, and local winds. What is a permanent winds? The trade winds western lands to eastern lands of the permanent winds, that is called permanent. And seasonal wind, that is a seasonal to season. Okay, seasonal to season, it changes the direction for the monsoon in India, that is called seasonal. And a local winds, that is a local wind we in India, that is we call wind northern India, that is a plain in India, that is we call the Lu. Okay, now the moisture, when the water evaporates from the land and different water bodies, it becomes water vapor. Moisture in the air at the any time, it is known as humidity. Sometimes children, we feel so uncomfortable, and feel sticky on our body, that is a humidity. Okay, and when the water vapor rises, it starts cooling the water vapor conditions, casting the formation drops of water. Okay, then it drops of water comes, and the clouds are just masses on the such drop of water. Okay, and then the precipitation that comes from comes down to the earth in the liquid form. That precipitation that comes down on the earth in the liquid form, that is called rain. Most of the ground water comes from the rainwater. Plants help preserve water when trees on the hillsides are cut down. So these are the things, and the rainfall is very important to survive for the human being and for the plants. So children, these are the things we know. And now once again I'll repeat for you how many types of the measurement we measure the weather. That is the 4 types. What are the 4 types of instrument? That is, we can measure the instrument. That is a 4 types of instrument that we measure the temperature of the weather. That is a thermosphere, barometer, and rain gauge, and a wind wave. And the how many types of winds are there? That also is the 3 types. Okay, that is the permanent winds, seasonal winds, and local winds. So children, I have completed my chapter, and please study well for the PTA 1. Okay, study well for the exam for you, and these 8 chapters in your exam will be coming. Okay, thank you, and I have a nice day.